something?
Of course, I have.
Why did you give us this? No, but you should have given us this information, so we're not surprised.
Makes sense.
Well, Harrison
Yakubu is the
wow.
founder of Resolytics. Resolytics is your ed tech and business analytics company. Now, it focuses on teaching tech skills to help people land entry-level roles, deploying analytics solutions for businesses, operating with business-to-business or business-to-customer models, offering services like data analysis, AI automation, and business intelligence solutions. Harrison Yakubu is just a fantastic guy altogether. And last week, Harrison dropped a bomb on us.
He did.
He was talking about our AI agents.
And how they're about to take over. Yes,
so
that's what we read from that
we
conversation.
decided that we should delve into it. So we're going to be talking about the rise of AI agents.
What they are, and even the impact on the economy.
I agree.
All right. Over
Harrison,
to you,
over to you.
Harrison Yakubu.
Do your
Right.
thing.
Teach us, lecture us.
Nice to be
Write
here
down,
again.
Papa.
Right.
You know where this is from, but go on.
Well, thank you so much for always having me here. It's always
Always
a
a
pleasure
pleasure.
to be here.
Always a
right?
pleasure to have you.
It's always
Right.
fun.
So we're talking about AI agents today, and of
Who are
course,
they?
what are AI agents? Actually, she said, I'm talking about Gifted Goddess now.
Really?
She said I mentioned that AI agents are coming to take over. Actually, I'm saying this without mincing words that they are coming to take over. I'm not
It's
joking.
okay. Scare us
Right.
anymore.
I'm not
Okay,
scaring
and I will
you.
throw
So
you out.
I listened to Mark Zuckerberg recently
Okay.
talk about the fact that we're going to have hundreds of millions of AI agents around the world. That is predicting, of course, he has a lot of data, so you can imagine that kind of person talking. He's predicting that AI agents are eventually going to even be more than humans. Right. Yeah, that's what he's predicting. So, whether we like it or not, we're getting to that point.
Okay.
So, AI agents, what are AI agents? AI agents are smart softwares or smart software entities, right, that act, think, and behave as though they are humans. First and foremost, AI simply means artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Why AI agents? Now, imagine that AI, as it may, is your brain,
Okay.
right? And the agent is your body, your spirit, your soul, and every other thing that makes you
You're
you,
kissing.
right? So your brain, so the brain cannot function without the body, right? And of course, if the body does not have a sound brain, of course, I don't want to say
It's as good as dead. Yeah.
So basically, that's what AI agents are. So AI is the brain that powers the agent. Now, you want to think of the agent as an autonomous system that acts and think like a human being, like I mentioned earlier. So there are levels to these things, right? So we're talking about chatbots and AI agents at last time. So, for example, I know somebody mentioned that, what if there's no human intervention? There's no
Emotion, yes,
and
emotional
all of that,
intelligence.
right? So let me explain that quickly. Simple chatbots are built with FAQs, frequently asked questions,
Okay.
right? But AI agents are just like your generative AI, for example, your generative pre-trained transformers, right? What actually happens is they are trained based on data, and that data is pulled from a knowledge base. Now, there are several levels, several ways a developer develops an AI agent, right? So first and foremost, if you implement something called RAG, right, retrieval augmented generations, right? If you implement something called RAG, it means that I've created a PDF, more like a textbook, where the agent is learning from. So the data that the agent learns from is a full-on textbook. Now, imagine a professor of, let's say, professor of physics, right, has written a textbook, right? Trying to remember, it's been a while, right?
Essential physics.
Oh wow, or essential biology.
Essential
I mean,
biology.
those kind of books that were very scary. Now imagine the professor.
Quite.
But we
Social
had to-
mass was
but-
ridiculous. But go on.
Let's not talk about that. But so imagine a professor who had written all of those things, right? And you feed that same textbook in PDF format to an AI agent, and then you tell the AI agent to reply to anybody who interfaces with it based off the knowledge from that textbook. That
Wow.
is retrieval augmented generations, right? That's one way to feed the AI agent.
1 second. Breathe. So, does it mean that we may not be needing books anytime soon?
I'm going to answer that question in a very psychedelic brain. Now,
No, please.
Elon Musk around 2016, 2017-ish, around that time, he talked about launching a company called Neuralinks Network.
Okay.
Now, this is what Neuralink Networks is meant to do. The version 1 of Neuralinks Network was tested on what they call those guys that please help me. Those guys are handicaps, right? We are tested on handicaps, right? Where they implant chips into their brains, and that chip is meant to correct whatever handicap, whatever
Situation that
situation
the
they are
person may
in.
be having.
Right. So the next level is this version 2 is meant to actually eradicate education.
Hold on.
Wait, first.
We need to take a break. This is a little too much for us. Today, you pass us. You pass us way. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do like the 101 version of what all the things you just said about AI agents. We'll be right back.
Super FM 92.7.
Taste it, the richness so amazing. With cereal, tea, and popcorn. Dano evaporated milk. Pour it, taste it, creamy and delicious. Dano evaporated milk.
Now you can enjoy a great creamy taste with Dano Full Cream and Dano Cool Cow Evaporated Milk. Try it and taste the Dano difference.
Once in a while, an exceptional talent arises to take the comedic scenery to another level. Bird in the southeast, Birds in the south-south, and now in the southwest. Lagos, are you ready as MC Monica presents Who is Chisom? Get ready for a night of rib-cracking, jaw-breaking comedy featuring the best of the comic and music world. Performing live, AY, Kenny Block, MC Shakara, MC Casino, Abaria.com, and lots more. Musical performances by Timmy Dakoto, Terry Akbala, Benji Sisaki, and many more. Venue, Echo Hotels and Suites. Date, Sunday, May 18th, 2025. Red carpet 6 p.m. and main event starts by 8 p.m. Regular 5,000 Naira. VIP 30,000 Naira. Silver table 2 million Naira. Gold table 3 million Naira. Get your tickets online at www.ariatickets.com. For partnership and sponsorship, please call 0706-955-1276. This event is packaged by Lanre Maku Events. Media partner, Super FM.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead of the curve is crucial. Are you ready to connect with the latest in business and economics? Tune in to the Business Connect, a dynamic program that delivers in-depth analysis of Nigeria's top business headlines and the global trends shaping the world economy. Each week, we bring you the latest updates on everything from financial markets and trade policies to entrepreneurship and cutting-edge innovations. Hear from industry leaders and experts as they break down the topics that matter most in the world of business. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a business professional, or simply curious about the evolving world of commerce, the Business Connect connects you to the pulse of business at home and abroad. Stay informed, stay ahead, make smarter decisions. Tune in to the Business Connect every Monday, 10:30 to 11 a.m. Because in business, knowledge is power. The Business Connect, only on Super 92.7 FM. Don't miss it. One family, one radio.
It is Super 92.7 FM, and you're listening to Tech Spaces. And we have Harrison Yakubu, data analyst and founder of Resolutics. We were in the middle of, he's talking the rise of AI agents. And I said I was going to ask, we'll take a break. Now that we've all,
Taking that in.
the breath in and out, I would ask you, Tech Spaces for Dummies, literally. What is an AI agent? In simple standard form.
So when you said tech spaces for dummies, it made me remember how I started learning how to write Python codes. So the first book I read was Python for Dummies. And I'm like, am I a dummy? I mean, what do these guys mean? So that's on a lighter note, right?
Yeah.
So AI agents are simple, like I mentioned earlier, they are autonomous systems that understand, think, and act as though they are humans. So they are meant to replace humans in their routine tasks. Let me put it this way in perspective. So imagine when machines were created, right? Machines came to take away all our physical labors, right? Now imagine that AI agents are meant, at this point, are meant to take away our cerebral work. So, for example, let's put it this way. Imagine an agent that would scrape the website and look for leads for you, right? So it puts those leads in different, it segments those leads, bring them up to chats those leads up, right? And of course, have a conversation with them, stores their information. Imagine, so when they eventually patronize you, it also segments them based on their recency, frequency, and monetary value. Right? And
Same
then
to you.
I don't understand.
But I guess you know I'm
You understand? So imagine an agent that can do all of that for you, which means that you may not need to pay a digital marketer. You will not need to pay a business development person to do a follow-up.
Okay.
Because it's going to act as a chatbot. So it's acting as a full-on agent. It's acting as a digital marketer looking for leads, advertising to those leads based off their performance or what their behavior on the internet.
alongside with what you want.
Alongside with what you want, of
And
course.
also customer service as well.
Then he's doing customer service in the middle. So he's doing business development, chatting them up, doing customer service, doing a follow-up when he asks frequently asked questions. I was talking about retrieval augmented generation. So
RAG.
based off, because I've built, for example, if I've built a sales agent, let me call it that, for Super FM, I must have trained that sales agent to act as the CEO of Super FM or the business developer of Super
It has
FM.
all the information
All the
and then
information
some.
about Super FM. So I talked about RAG. That's one level. That's one level of training an agent. Another level is I could also scrape, send it links of your websites, all of your social media handles. So when I prompt, so there are levels. Remember I said it understands. The first thing it does is it understands, then it thinks and acts. Please, let's put that in perspective.
Understand things that acts.
Accumulates information, understands the
It
information,
understands.
then
It understands what you want to achieve as a business or as a person. Then thinks of the best possible route to actually achieve that.
even the ones
And
you
then
don't think of.
Yeah, of course you can't even think about it because it's acting based off intelligence data. That is so because he's acting based off data. Imagine an agent that has the data of almost all the professors of the world.
Like we don't have that information.
Of course,
Like
so-
as
20%
individuals.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. So it thinks of the best possible routes. Like I said, it's going to scrape the internet. For example, he knows you want to sell. Let me use real estate. You want to sell houses to some people. So he looks for people who are interested in houses, right, based off their behavior on the internet, right? Scrapes their data, right? And because he knows, he thinks of, like I said, it first of all understands that you want to sell. Secondly, he thinks of the best possible route, which is to scrape the data. It's called web scraping. Use Beautiful Soup or whatever library you're using to do that. So it scrapes the internet and brings in that information, right, into a database. Sorry, the chatbot. Now, the interface. Now, let me talk about what happens. There are two levels to these things, right? So the one you see as a user is called the interface.
Yeah.
Right? Then there's the operations.
The back end.
Yeah,
Back end,
of course.
We
I
know
like
it
funny.
fits in.
So there's the
A
operations,
little
right?
bit.
So when he chats with the user, right? What happens? So see what I'm saying? I'm not saying it, right? So he or it or she, as the case may be, now processes that information. Of course, on the back end, uses what is known as triggers or nodes to look at what that person really wants, and then of course look for the right answer or right information from either the RAG or the website or whatever thing you've fed it with or you're feeding the data through, right? And then of course reply to that person. So it's taking off a whole lot. So imagine that when you begin to have AI agents, imagine a company with just 10 staff, but they are doing a job of about 1,000 staff
Because
effortlessly with minimal energy.
so AI agent, AI chat box. Please, tech spaces dummy for dummies.
Okay. So
001. Tell me.
AI. Let me put it this way. AI agent
Okay,
is
so
not
sorry,
just...
someone's calling. I'm hoping that they're calling about this so that if there are questions. Hello, good morning. Hello? Oh, I think network has...
Well, you can
cut us
call in on the show and be a part of the
Yeah, so-
conversation. I mean, you cannot learn it all. I mean, that's why we have Harrison Yakubu right here, 0705 6900927. We cannot know it all, so let's...
off. And we cannot ask it all.
We got,
That's why, if there's something you're confused about, let
please, by
him
all
share.
means. Okay, you were saying chat box, AI agent, AI chat box,
Okay,
and
so-
AI agents.
There are several ways by which you can interface or interact with an AI agent. right? So a chatbot is just a chatbot, something you can chat with. There is also a voice agent, an AI agent that calls you, that rings your phone. Of course, I'm sure you've heard about telecommunication companies use that a lot, but that one is based off some pre-trained information they've given you, right? But I'm talking about voice agent that will act and think like you, right? And ask questions based off the fact that I am Chioma. And funny thing is, these AI agents work 24/7, which means there's no days off, no sick leave,
It's how he's putting the human perspective and factors.
It's kind of unfair.
Quite unfair.
No,
Quite
but for
unfair. if you
real,
ask me.
that's why it's going to take over, because basically I've said it here, businesses are set up basically for profit.
Yes.
Right? If I can maximize profit while reducing my cost of operations, why wouldn't I?
So off the air, we were having a conversation, and you were telling us about an AI for real estate that actually exists in Nigeria that's been put together.
Yeah.
Explain that a little more.
All
I'm
right.
curious.
So what's the beta phase of this AI agent is to act as a chatbot, right?
Okay.
So when you if you run an ad as a real estate company, right? When somebody interfaces with that ad, of course it sends them to a chat box or a chat, right? You want to
Yeah,
I don't know if
a
this
quick
person-
call that may be coming
Hi,
in.
good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Yakubu.
Ebube. All right, Ebube, do you have any questions for Harrison here?
So,
Hello, Ebube, can you hear us? All
The
right,
network is a
Ebube.
little wonky. Sorry, Ebube. Yes, about the AI and real estate. I'm so curious about that.
So when a real estate company runs an ad, they expect people to interact with that ad, of course. Now, imagine, Chioma, you own Chioma and Sons.
Must it be Chioma and Sons? Why can't it be Chioma and Daughters?
Okay, I
Chioma
wanted to say
and
that, but because
daughters.
that's like a cliche.
Chioma and
so
daughters.
Chioma and siblings. Okay, Chioma and daughters.
Cool.
Real estate,
LTD.
whatever it is, right? Now imagine that when you run your ads, you're going to employ like about 4 to 5 customer service guys that will keep replying to them, and those guys work probably 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 depending on your agreement, right? But instead of employing those 4 or 5 people, you just deploy one AI agent, right? And once anybody interacts with that ad, they get to chat with an agent, right? So once they chat with that agent, as you're chatting with the agent, what happens is the agent takes up information about that person based off what you've said, maybe name, phone number, email address, and all of that, right? And stores that person's information in a CSV file, or CSV simply means comma separated values, or an Excel sheet. It's just an Excel sheet, right? Or an Excel sheet. It stores those information in a way that you can actually interact with it, right? Now, it doesn't just, no, where it's beautiful as an agent is that it doesn't just store those information. It actually composes emails based off what it has collected and sends personalized emails to these people.
Yeah.
You don't say.
That's without human interference.
Without human
You
interference.
all you have to do is go set it up.
Okay.
It does all of those things for you.
No,
Now,
this is.
so that's the very first version. Like that's been optimized currently, right? To also not just send those emails. Like I said earlier, once these people begin to patronize you, it now begins to segment them on an analytical level based on their recency, frequency, and monetary value. So you can know who to target what to. And no, it doesn't just even tell you who to target what to. After segmenting them, it also sends personalized messages to them. So let's say you want to advertise another building, right? And you don't want to go through social media. You probably just want to send emails. It now prioritizes those customers based off their recency, frequency, and monetary value. And then, of course, send those messages to them
Okay.
without human
That-
interference.
You're telling me
Without
that exists
Currently,
right now
right?
in Nigeria?
Yes, please. We know the set of guys that build them.
Yeah, we are going to DM. We are going to have a conversation. By the way, if you want more information,
Well, you
DM.
DM us.
So I wouldn't, if our listeners are interested, of course they can reach out to Super FM. They can collect their details and let's see those
If
that
you
are
can
in
help.
real estate
Yeah,
business, of
That's
course, we could just send them to do a test, and if they like it, of course.
That's true.
That is.
Oh, that's a good
That's
idea,
amazing.
actually. Yes. So because that's why tech spaces exist. It's because the world is changing whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
The world is evolving, and we need to understand the space that we're in, which
And
is
even
the
bridge
tech
that gap,
space.
especially with millennials, and because Gen Zs look like they have a hang of it, but just of
I
us.
don't see. They look like looks are deceptive. That's all I'm gonna say about
Right.
that. But as we wrap up, on the rise of AI agents and
impact on
the
the
impact on let's talk about the impact. How is this going to impact the economy? This AI agents taking over our jobs.
All right, very great question. So I've often said is that for every new revolution, industrial revolution, there is a new set of skill sets and
we're back to
professionalism
industrial
that is
revolution.
needed. Right?
We're
of course,
back
we are.
there.
That's where we're
That's
from.
where we're at.
This is the having. I even forgot to talk about the infrastructure of AI agents, but that probably would.
Infrastructure. Okay,
Yeah.
next week we'll talk about infrastructure.
So you understand the journey, how we got to this point, right? So
Yes.
a question again.
Oh, I was asking about the impact on
Yeah,
the
yeah. So
economy.
the impact is simple. We're going to have new set of skill sets, right? We're going to have AI agent ethicists, people who are going to be building the ethics behind it. We're going to be having analysts, AI agents analysts. We're going to be having prompt. I've said it earlier, prompt engineers. So basically, I believe prompt in this age and time. Right, I believe everyone should know at least a bit about prompt engineering. Just take one course on prompt engineering. Just get to understand what prompt engineering is, how to prompt, and all
When
of
you
that.
say prompt engineering, is it those people that whenever you send a message on WhatsApp, they already have like a
No,
a
the
message?
right ways. Wait, the right ways to ways to sort of prompt a question or a response to a question.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Right?
Go on.
yeah.
Oh
So-
gosh, I'm good, man.
AI.
Because apart from having
Woman.
AI agents, agentic AI solutions, so it's called agentic AI solutions. Apart from having agentic AI solutions, we also have generative AI, right? So in order for you to prompt a generative AI properly, you need to understand how the infrastructure is built,
Okay.
right? So understanding that infrastructure gives you a sense of how to talk to it and what they expect from it and what you can prompt how you can prompt to get the best possible response.
Time is
Yeah.
never enough with conversations with you, but we really appreciate it. Every time that I listen to you, I think you just upgrade my mind a little more. And you know, I'm so upgraded now, I can answer questions. Harrison Yakubu is who we're speaking with, a data analyst and the founder of Resolytics. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. But before we
It's my
go, just a thought for someone who's listening to this and AI agents and the economy and where we're going tomorrow. What do you say to them?